In 2007, 22-year-old LeBron James delivered one of the greatest single-game performances in NBA history. But unlike Jordan's flu game or Kobe's 81, this masterpiece barely gets mentioned.
So let's dive in to why it barely gets mentioned, which I don't think it's barely, but okay. First, let's talk about Kobe's 81. Short conversation because I want to get to the good stuff in terms of that series against Detroit that he's talking about. So, Kobe's 81 is the highest scoring NBA game in recorded history. In recorded history. Yes, there was a game where a player scored more, but there's no recording of it. That's pretty monumental for the NBA and the league, which is why it gets talked about. In terms of the flu game, I'm glad that you brought it up. We'll quickly talk about that as well. That came after multiple great performances by Michael Jordan. In that game, Jordan scores 38 points, 10 of 12 from the free throw line, and his second leading scorer on the team, Scottie Pippen, 17 points on 29% shooting. I'll tell you why that's important in a second. Now let's get to a couple more points that you made. Let's start with this first.
The Detroit Pistons were not just any team. They'd been to 5 straight Eastern Conference Finals, 2 NBA Finals appearances, and were still considered the league's toughest defensive unit.
Still one of the most feared defenses in the league? Are you sure about that? Because there's a reason you showed this guy in your clips, knowing full well he was in Chicago at the time, not on the Pistons anymore, because Hall of Famer, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 6-time All-Defensive Player team selection, Ben Wallace, the anchor of that feared defense, wasn't there anymore. Replaced by Chris Webber, they're not striking fear in any player's heart, driving the lane, trying to get a dunk. That'll be important in a minute too.
And yet, in Game 5, with the series tied 2-2, LeBron decided to dismantle them alone. From the final minutes of the fourth quarter through 2 overtimes, LeBron James scored 25 consecutive points. Layups, threes, pull-ups, dunks. Every single Cavs bucket for nearly 17 minutes came from one man.
Now, don't get me wrong, the 2 overtime periods, LeBron was fantastic. But let's not rewrite history completely on the game prior to the 2 overtimes. LeBron had gone something like 12 of 26. His second best player, unlike Scottie Pippen, who scored 17 points on 29% shooting, Big Z went 16 points, so 1 less, but on 67% shooting. We'll get to him in a second as well. The biggest thing you should talk about, however, is how LeBron did in the fourth quarter. Why did it go to overtime? Yes, he scores a 3-point shot and then a couple of dunks here, maybe because Ben Wallace wasn't there to defend. But more importantly, he misses 1, 2, 3 free throws in that fourth quarter. Yeah, he goes 0 of 3. And that's really the reason they went into the first overtime, because Detroit, on the other hand, couldn't hit water from a boat in that same last 3 minutes. Chauncey Billups being the only one who hit the 1 3-pointer. They go up by 2, and then, as I mentioned, LeBron gets the dunk, no Ben Wallace, and ties the game.
And here's what makes it even more absurd. LeBron wasn't carrying all-stars or Hall of Famers. His supporting cast, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Drew Gooden, Larry Hughes, and Sasha Pavlovich.
Then you mentioned his supporting cast was a bunch of great role players, and they were. It was the perfect mix of players for someone that plays LeBron's style. All-star center, by the way. You said he had no all-stars, but Big Z was a 2-time all-star. I know you're going to start saying bad things about Big Z, but don't say he didn't have an all-star when he had a 2-time all-star. Right there, scoring 16 points on 67% shooting.
Yet LeBron dragged that roster past the Detroit Pistons dynasty and into the NBA Finals.
But this is where I really want to spend the majority of my time, because you said LeBron dragged that team into the finals. So let's take a look. Here's game 1, a 3-point loss by the Cavaliers. This is LeBron going 5 of 15, 33% from the field, not really dragging the team in game 1. I guess they lost. How'd he do in the fourth quarter of that first game? It was only a 3-point game. Maybe, 1 for 3 in the fourth quarter? All right, let's go to game 2. Game 2, exact same score actually, 79-76. Another Cavaliers loss. How'd LeBron do this game? 7 of 19. Still not much to write home about, but it's about the fourth quarter in these close games. LeBron goes 2 of 7 in the fourth quarter? That's not going to get it done in a close game. Game 3, the Cavs and LeBron have a great game, but everybody on the team did, and the Cavaliers win game 3. All right, well, how about game 4? Not bad, 8 of 19, 1 of 5 3-point shooting. That's not that great, but let's not kid ourselves. These role players helped out. Drew Gooden's 19, Daniel Gibson's 21 on 57% shooting. Some pretty good play from those role players. But what about the deciding game of him dragging this team to the final? Let's take a look at that. Well, LeBron goes 3 of 11, 27%. Daniel Gibson goes 7 of 9, 5 of 5 from 3, and 12 of 15 from the free throw line for 31 points? Wow. Maybe LeBron carried in the fourth quarter. No, 2 of 6. Still Daniel Gibson. 5 of 6, 4 of 4 from 3, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. He goes for, 12, 14, 19 points in the fourth? Looked like Daniel Gibson was doing the dragging if you ask me. Well, maybe the game was decided before the fourth quarter. No, it was tied at half. Detroit's down by 1 heading into the fourth. 16-point loss. Looks like it was the fourth quarter that really mattered. And that was all Danny Gibson. So when you ask why wasn't it as remembered as an 81-point game, most points ever scored in a recorded game, or game 5 of an NBA Finals, well, because it's not as memorable as those things. Now you're more fluent.